What's up guys? So this is part one of a series where I'm section hiking the Backbone Trail. The trail is a through hiking trail in the Santa Monica Mountains near Los Angeles, and I'll be starting at Topanga State Park at the Dead Horse parking lot and walking up Hondo Canyon to get to Saddle Peak Road near the ridgeline. And if you just follow the cursor on the blue route line on Google Earth, you can see where I'm going for this first section of the hike. I'll have to walk up some switchbacks in the shaded part of the mountain before I emerge onto Saddle Peak Road. Here I am starting off at the conveniently located bathroom in the Dead Horse parking lot at Topanga State Park. And my first goal is just to walk down to Topanga Canyon Boulevard and cross the road. Once you get across the road and walk down this cul-de-sac, the trailhead will be almost on your immediate left. And just to recap the start of the trek, I walked down the hill from the parking lot, crossed the road, and walked a little ways down this side road until I found the trailhead on the left. Next, I'm going to have to hike up a hill that's kind of behind a schoolyard, and along the way there's a few signs that showcase a few local plant varieties, though it doesn't look like there's much upkeep here. It's mildly steep in some sections, but it gets you warmed up to the climbing you'll have to do later on. And as you get further along, you'll start to enjoy some nice local canyon views. But try not to go down any side trails. If you're not climbing at this point on the trail, then you're probably going the wrong way. You'll eventually make it to the top of the hill, and right now in the winter time it's kind of got a picturesque countryside type feel to it. The grass is temporarily green and the toyon bushes still have their red berries on them. These water casks likely belong to the school. I don't think they're here to provide water to thru hikers on the Backbone Trail. Again, some more majestic mountain and valley views. Looks like a nice place to live other than the extreme fire risk in the dry summer and fall seasons. Let's go ahead and start our descent down to the Hondo Canyon trailhead. And you know you're going the right way if you start to see the top of a water tower in the distance. You do have to cross a dirt road at this point on the trail, so make sure you don't accidentally walk up or down it. It's important on the Backbone Trail to have a GPS app on your phone, one that still works outside of cell service range. I personally like the Gaia GPS app, since even the free version lets me hike the Backbone Trail out of cell service and keeps me up to date on where I am and where the trail is. This area of the trail looks like a nice campground for a thru hiker. Here we're about 3 miles north of Moosh Trail Camp in Topanga State Park, and if you're heading southbound from Malibu Creek State Park Campground, then this area is only about 11 or 12 miles away from that, and you can save yourself about 3 miles if you're willing to take that risk of camping in a non-designated camping area. To recap, we started at the Topanga School Trail trailhead, and we walked up the hill, got our blood pumping until we reached the local high point on the hill, and saw a few of those water casks that were sitting there. Let me reposition the map a little bit so you can see the vertical component of the hill. Here's where we walked down to see the water towers sitting there at the possible impromptu campsite. Our next immediate goal is to hike down to the Hondo Canyon Trailhead, and that's not very far from where we're at here. It's also our last chance to enjoy any downhill hiking, so enjoy it while it lasts. And usually this road doesn't have too much traffic, so there shouldn't be any problems getting across. But be careful when coming back from this hike, because the original road we crossed, the Topanga Canyon Boulevard, does get super crowded at rush hour, and you can get stuck there for several minutes trying to get back to your car. Here we are at the Hondo Canyon Trailhead, and again, like all these Topanga State Park trails, no dogs are allowed. We'll start our long ascent from this dry creek bed, and once we get through that, we are once again reminded that no dogs or squirrels are allowed to be walked on this trail. And we'll see some interesting foliage for this more shaded area of Topanga State Park. At this point, we'll start to hug the perimeter of a large field, and this will be our last big open area for the hike. Again, the Christmas berries on the toyon bushes were out in full force on this December hike. And here I am getting my last glimpses of the quaint, cinematic countryside views this part of the hike allows. Again, on Google Earth, we were at the water tower, then we hiked down to Old Topanga Canyon Road. We crossed the road, and then we got on the Hondo Canyon Trail and started to walk up this field. As you can see, the field is on an incline, and as I ascended, hugging the left side of the field, I definitely got out of breath at that moment. The remainder of the hike is just ascending through this canyon, and as you can see, it's more cold, dark, isolated, and it definitely feels like you're back in the backcountry at this point. And as I started on this part of the trail, I could see some evidence of a browsing deer. I'm sure animals use this trail all the time. I see on the rocks along the trail that there's coyote scat, which is probably some territory marking behavior. This momentarily open area looks like it would be a good spot for a picnic or maybe even a camp, but were you to endeavor to camp there, just keep in mind that it's a totally wild area, and the nocturnal animals, including coyotes and mountain lions, probably don't have any learned prohibition regarding going up and down that path at night. As we get back into a more densely wooded area, there's more greenery, including these ferns, and if you see this ominous gate, you know you're on the right path. At this point, you should consult your GPS app so you don't accidentally walk down the wrong path and deeper down into the canyon. But I've noticed up in here someone has marked the incorrect path with a few stray branches, and that seems to be the case universally on this trail. I found this particular area of the trail a bit spooky. It's cold and wet back there. There's no other hikers. There's no cell service. The chaparral's density reduces visibility such that you feel vulnerable to a demented mountain cat who could lunge out at you at any moment. But putting that aside, this looks like another nice campground. Other than there's poison ivy everywhere, it looks flat enough to pitch a tent. Once I hit the switchbacks and could see out into the distance again, the trail felt a lot less spooky. Once again, here's a wrong way marked with some branches that some trail angel has left for us. And once you've gained enough elevation, you can start to see some nice Santa Monica mountain features like this angular unconformity that's nestled in the foliage. On Google Earth, you can see I departed that open field and started to walk up the canyon on the left-hand side of it. And at this point on the hike, it's all about the ascent. You just keep going up and up and up. Here's the little open picnic area we saw, and then I plunged into the denser forest area where we saw the ferns. And after not getting eaten by any senile mountain lions, I was able to tackle some of the switchbacks and was able to gain back some long distance visibility. You can sort of see some of the switchbacks on Google Earth, and you can start to see some of the macro geology at play here at the top of Hondo Canyon. And once I ascended up onto the ridgeline, I was able to meet Saddle Peak Road and the Trailhead for the next section of this hike, which is the Fossil Ridge Trail. But let me zoom in a little bit further and you'll start to see Saddle Peak Road in the upper left hand corner, and the point on the distinct V shape the trail makes is our trailhead. If you follow the cursor here, that is the start of Fossil Ridge Trail. And here we are getting up to the signage. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and we'll conquer the Fossil Ridge Trail on the next one. It'll have some great views of the ocean, and we'll walk through some giant sandstone rocks. Alright, see you out there.